So we are in Grace to Grieve, Grace to Grieve 105, Grace to Grieve 105. We've been walking through this because I believe that it is so essential and so important for us to know what it is that God is desiring to do in us and through us in this season. We can cut the lights on as well so they can be able to see their study guide and everything. They can fill it in. I know they're so excited about taking some copious notes tonight, so we don't want to hinder them from being able to do that. Thank y'all so much. But we've been talking about just simply learning how to lose. Learning how to grieve, because there's a lot of things that in our society's taught us how to do a lot of things. But I think one of the things that we are lacking in, it is our ability to be able to take an L. It's our ability to be able to lose and lose well. No matter who you are, no matter where you come from, you, my friend, are going to lose. I'm going to lose. We all are going to lose, and we all are going to be grieving in one area in our lives. We've been walking through this. As I say, this is the 5th installment, and I was going to let it go in November, but because of the fact that it would just been so beneficial, so helpful to so many people, I decided to keep it going for as long as the Lord wants me to. I'm glad I'm not held hostage. I'm not held hostage to any series or anything. I can just move and go and just call an audible whenever it is I get ready to do so, whenever God is directing to do so. So we've been talking about these. This grief. I've been giving you 3 definitions, and for the sake of time, I'm not going to give them to you tonight. Just go back and you can look at these definitions at your whenever you have some free time, and they'll kind of give you set the stage for what it is that we've been talking about. Because grief is inevitable. All of us are going to grieve. All of us are going to go through seasons where we're mourning, and seasons that we have to lose some things, and if we don't know how to handle it properly, that season will handle us. We've said that there's a lot of loss that we're going to incur. There's a lot of loss. There's going to be a loss of love. It's going to be loss of significance. There's going to be loss of security. And all of us will experience these things no matter which bucket you fall into. You're going to be in one of these buckets. I got a sneaky suspicion that there's somebody here on campus and somebody watching me online, Church of YouTube, Church of Facebook, that you have lost loved ones. I know I have lost loved ones. I know I've lost jobs where that is a sense of significance. I know I've lost a lot of money. I know one time when I was thinking in between services, when we got behind on all of our bills. At one point in time when I got fired from my job, we was behind on all of our bills about 3 months. And our house note wasn't no $2 or $3. It was about $1,600-$1,700 just the house note. And then the cars, this and that. And then, so we was behind about 3 months. And then what I was trying to do was I was trying to refinance, trying to help us out to be able to get out of the hole that we were in. And lo and behold, I sent about $3,000 to this bogus company that folded up, and it was gone in like 2 days. Nobody ever got jammed like that? Nobody ever tried to send some money somewhere, and then we sent this money to these people, then next thing you know, after I'm waiting on them to call me back and waiting on them to call me back and waiting on them to call me back, and I'm calling them, and then somebody finally picked up the phone, and in fact, I called the telephone man. I said, Mr. Telephone Man, I called these people's number, and I get a click every time. I'm called. That was this joke song. And there we go. Thank you so much. I got a click. He said, he didn't give me a full laugh. He said, can I tell you, every now and then we'll go through. I was hurt by that money because we was already behind, but I was trying to get the things refinanced and things of that nature, and it was a difficult season. And so grief, don't pigeonhole. Grief is not just losing a loved one. Grief can be anything. You can be grieving over loss of a pet, grieving over loss of a job, grieving over loss of your health maybe deteriorating. There are people that are retired and people who worked all their life, and because of the fact they're not able to work anymore, they're grieving in this season. So in order for us to be able to recover from wherever we are and whatever it is that we're going through, if we're not presently going through it, the mature saints say, keep on living. We have to learn to be able to identify what's incomplete in our hearts and what's incomplete in our lives, so we can be able to close it up, so we can bring some completion, and we can be able to restore and move on from that place. And this is what we've been talking about these last few weeks. In fact, last week we kind of springboard and start talking about incompleteness. Let me bring you up to speed. Incompleteness is just simply, it's an accumulation of undelivered communications. large and small, that have emotional value to you. Many of us, whether we're in relationship with persons, or maybe you have significance with a thing or a business or whatever the case may be, there could be something that you were trying to do, something that you were trying to obtain, something that you were trying to get across to your loved one, and you never were able to kind of get it across to them. Maybe something happened and caused a relationship to dissolve and caused a relationship to fizzle out, and that brings about a type of incompleteness. And this is what God is saying to us tonight, that God is telling us that we ought to do our due diligence to find that place of incompleteness and be able to bring a completeness to it, so I can be able to be restored in every area of my life. I believe with every ounce of strength that I have, that it is God's will for me to be restored. Not just for me to be good in this area, not just good in that area, but God wants me to be holistic in every area of our life. Let me go further with this incompleteness. Incompleteness is caused by our actions or non-actions. Our incompleteness is caused by our actions or non-actions. In my case, I've been telling you about when my mother transitioned. I've been telling you about the fact that when she passed in 2009, how I wasn't ready for it because I was in denial, didn't think that she was, even though I saw what was going on. I saw her health declining. But then whenever it happened, I began to take myself on this trip, which all of us tend to go through. We start saying, what if? We start saying, well, what if I had did this? What if this would have went this way? What if we would have went to the doctor a little sooner? What if I would have called more? What if I would have stayed home? What if? Then we start saying, if only I had known. If only I had not been so mean. If only we had not argued so much. If only. What if? And this is the thing that brings incompletion in our life, because as long as we keep living in the past, and as long as we just keep on remembering those things that we were not able to do and those things that we did not do, then we will always be incomplete. We'll always be getting to a place where we're allowing regret to be able to hang over our heads. But I love this, because this is what this grief recovery handbook, we've been talking about this book for this entire series. I love what it said, and when we was in Grace to Grieve 101, the book says that with correct information and correct choices, a person can recover from any significant loss. So with correct information, and you getting correct information in the natural and in the spiritual, and then with right actions and choices, a person can recover from any significant loss. So let me get us all on the same playing field, whether you're here or whether you're watching online. I want us to get all on the same playing field to let us know that no matter what you have lost, you can recover. Come on, can I say that? No matter what you've been through, no matter what you've gone through, you and I, we can recover. But it's going to take the right information. We got the right natural information, and we got the right spiritual information, and we're taking the right actions that is necessary for us to be able to recover. So let's talk about this. We got to be able to identify these areas and how we're going to recover. And we got to identify these areas on how we're going to be able to bring some completion to our incomplete areas in our heart. The first thing we need to do, we have to gain awareness. Somebody say gain awareness. We got to gain awareness that an incomplete emotional relationship exists. We got to first pull our head out of the proverbial sand, and we got to acknowledge that there is some incompleteness. I got to gain awareness. It's hard for you to change a thing if you don't know a thing. It's hard for you to be able to make adjustments if you don't feel like you need to make any adjustments. But no, we have to gain awareness that there is an incomplete emotional relationship. So if it's something that is surrounding the death of someone, if it's something that's surrounding the loss that you have incurred, or something that has went down in your life, whether it's divorce or whether it was a loss of a child, it's a lot of things that we can name. But if there's some emotion that's attached to that thing that is causing you not to be able to be restored in that area, you need to figure out what that area is or what that thing is, so you can be able to be whole. So the second thing is this: simply accepting responsibility. And this is the brunt of our lesson on the night. It has to do with our responsibility, accepting responsibility that in part you are the cause of the incompleteness. And this is where we kind of get off the boat. This is where we kind of log off. This is where we kind of share before we go. This is where we kind of put the church finger up, because here we love saying that this person did this to me or that person did that to me. But yet, in order for me to be whole, in order for me to be mature, in order for me to be complete in my life, I have to accept responsibility in saying it's not about what this person does or do not do. Come on, I don't know if that's good English, but it makes for good preaching. I don't care what this person does or what they do not do. I have to make sure that my area, that my responsibility is intact, that I do everything that I possibly can do, that I can mature from this place. I can't just blame it on them. I got to take responsibility for what it is that I bring to the table. Look at the third thing. It is simply identifying recovery communications that you have not delivered. We're going to talk about that towards the end. And then doing what? Taking actions. Come on, we can talk about wanting to be whole all day. You can talk about wanting to be free all day. You can talk about what it is that you want to do, but I must take the right actions and then communicate those right actions. And then here it is, lastly, moving beyond the loss. That's right. You can move beyond the loss. I said with proper information and come on, you can, and right steps and right choices, anyone can recover from any loss. I don't care how devastating the loss is. I don't care how traumatic the loss is. If I got the right information and I take the right steps, I can recover. So here we need to move beyond the loss. Here, what would happen if you will be able to do this? Saying goodbye to the pain. Come on, you want to be able to say goodbye to the pain. Say goodbye to whatever has been haunting you and been hanging over your head. You can say goodbye to it, to where God can be able to fully free you. All right, so there's some obstacles. The devil don't want you to be whole. The devil don't want you to be free. The devil wants you to stay stuck where you are, to continue to complain, to continue to murmur, to continue to say that this is why I am the way that I am. But in order for me to do that, I got to get past these obstacles. Let's talk about these obstacles that's stopping you and I from being able to grieve in a graceful way to where I can get the victory. Look at the first obstacle, and I'm moving. The first obstacle is this: an obstacle that may be preventing full recovery and completion is an awareness to apologize. This is simple and it's profound. This is simply profound. Where it could just simply be an apology. Simply an apology. In order to bring about completion, an apology might be necessary. Maybe apology is necessary. And I know our spidey senses kind of start going tingling right there, because you saying, that's right, they need to apologize. That's right, they need to say they're sorry. That's right, they need to apologize. No. I'm not talking about the apology that you receive. Maybe there's an apology that you need to give. Come on. This is in my case. Let me talk to y'all. Don't like when I talk about y'all, so I'm going to talk about me. So I told you when my mother passed, I began to guilt myself. I began to talk about what I didn't do and what I should have done. And so here, in order to help me, in order to bring it an end to that pain, in order for me to get past where I was, maybe there was an apology. And my apology would sound something like this: I'm sorry I didn't come see you more. I apologize I didn't call you more. I apologize that our last communication maybe wasn't that well. I apologize that I didn't tell you I love you before we got off the phone. I mean, now I'm just plugging things in. Now I don't want you to look at me in that tone of voice, because all of us have areas. All of us have things. All of us have things where we don't know that this may be the last time that I'm talking to this person. This may be the last time I'm going to interact with this person. And if you always dangle that guilt over your head over what you did not do, what you should have said, then you're never going to be able to recover. But maybe there's something that you need to apologize over if you're serious about getting over it. If you're serious about being whole, if you're serious about recovering. So it's not the time to just sit there and say, well, I should have, or I wish I would have knew. But no, just go ahead and verbalize it. Go ahead and look at what it is, verbalize it, and get that monkey off your back. Look at the second obstacle. I'm trying to get somewhere. Look at the second obstacle. Simply this, and maybe you don't get in on the apology part, but let me see if I can snag you right here. If somebody like to say snag, let me see if I can snag you right here. Look at the second one. An obstacle that may be preventing full recovery and completion is an unwillingness to release my victim status. Maybe this is an obstacle. Maybe this is something that's preventing me from having full recovery because I love being a victim. I love being a victim. I love this. I love the fact that this thing that has happened to me, this thing that has transpired in my life, and oftentimes people kind of do it subconsciously. I don't think we do it on purpose, but there are some people, maybe you know somebody, maybe you know a cousin, maybe you know a friend, that they get in a lifelong relationship with their pain. Do you know someone that where no matter what it is that you are talking about, no matter how wonderful things are, no matter how good things may be going, they're going to find a way to circle the wagon and be able to bring up that conversation. You don't know no cousin like that. You don't got one auntie like that. And it might be the person sitting in your seat. If you don't know nobody like that, it might be the person that's sitting in your chair that no matter what an individual is dealing with or talking about, they become lifelong partners with their pain. And when we do that, we become victims. Now, I'm not trying to explain away your pain. I'm not trying to tell you that your pain is not legit. I'm not trying to tell you that wasn't a real thing that happened to you. Yeah, that's a real pain. And yeah, you ought to feel that pain. And yeah, you ought to know that what happened to you should not have happened to you. Some people have got molested. Some people have gotten raped. Some people have had tragic death. Family members got murdered. There's some people that got wrongfully fired, discriminated, police brutality. Come on, and a partridge and a pear tree. Come, we can name all of this stuff, and we can pass the microphone around and talk about all of our pain. But I should never get to the point to where me and my pain are on first name basis, to where we are just in relationship with one another. And why does this stop us? Somebody asked me why does this stop us? Because it's so hard for victims to see themselves. When I've been wronged, when I've been hurt, when I've been dropped, when all those things have happened to me, it's really difficult for me to be able to see myself. And because of this, I kind of stay stuck where I am. I stay stuck because I'm forever the victim. But no, God has not called us to be victims. God has called us to be victorious. God has not called us to always talk about what has happened to us, but God has called us to get to the point that where we take what has happened to us and we use it as fuel to be able to do and be able to push forward and to become what it is that God wants us to be able to become. And so when you find yourself being the victim, I like to look at maybe what has transpired prior to. It doesn't take much. Doesn't have to be something so egregious. Doesn't have to be something so top shelf. So we would say. But it was something I made mention of on Sunday that really I said I need to go back to that. Let me slow down a little bit. I was rushing a little bit. Let me slow down and slow drag in that a little bit, because what the enemy does oftentimes, especially to the people of God, he don't tempt us with smoke and with drink and with chew and all that kind of stuff. He don't tempt some of us. Let me say that. Some of us, somebody was like, preacher, speak for yourself, Reverend. Speak for yourself. Somebody was messing with me yesterday. They were talking about they used to drink Remy. They say, but I'm graduated now, Pastor. I'm on that XO. Come on, I'm like, I thought you were going to say you graduated. You ain't doing that no more. On that. They were just kidding. No, they were just kidding. But anyway, but the point is this, that this is how subtle the enemy is. The devil don't show up with no pitchfork. He don't show up with no horns and a tail and all that. No, he don't show up with all of that. But no, he comes in and he's slick. He comes in such a way, the way he's undercover. And that's why Paul said in 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11, he said, be not ignorant of Satan's devices. Don't be fooled on how the devil does what he does, because this is how he gets us. He gets us with this little dirty word called offense. Yeah. He tries to offend us. He allows persons to offend us. And I told you on Sunday, whenever it is the enemy offends us, it goes from offense to what? Unforgiveness. Then what? Hatred. Then hatred turns into what? Bitterness. Bitterness turns into revenge. And then we saw Absalom this past Sunday. We see where we begin when we don't get a handle on our revenge. Well, I just got to make something happen. We start taking matters into our own hands. And so what does this have to do with grief? This has a lot to do with grief, because there's a lot of people that are angry with a dead person. There's a lot of individuals that's upset about a person. And then there are some people that are still alive, but they might as well be dead. Because they're dead to us. Because there's been no relationship. There's been no energy. There's been no effort in this relationship. And here that father never spent that time with you. That mother went on about her business. Come on, there could be people, our siblings that could be in our life that they should just be good as dead. But just because that person is not active and involved in my life, that does not mean that person is not active and involved in my heart. I'm coming. I'm be coming around the mountain when I come. I'll be coming around the mountain when I come. I try to let you get your little worship. There's our breath and our lungs. Come on, try to let you get all that out. Because if I'm going to knock the rest of the breath out your lung here in a second here. All the look at this quote I gave you on Sunday. While I still got a few minutes. I still got a few more minutes, y'all. I got a few more minutes. Let me see if I got a few more minutes. Let me get a few more minutes. Look at what happened. Look before my time is gone. Look, being offended is a choice we make. It is not a condition, inflicted or imposed upon someone or something else. This is a game changer. This is a game changer because if I would, and I know this is a tough word. I know this is something. This is a mature word. This is a big boy and a big girl word. Because if I would learn, it's not so much about what a person does to me, but it's about how I respond to what they do to me. It's not so much people will offend us all the time. People will hurt our feelings all the time. People will make us angry all the time. People will upset us all of the time. But I must make a choice. When that thing happens, I must see how am I going to respond. Am I going to allow this person to offend me? And a lot of times we allow ourselves to be offended by a person that really doesn't even know us. How do you qualify to take a residence in my heart and in my mind when I probably never see you again? Just because you said what you said and you did what you did, but I must learn. I told you Sunday, I got to learn how to be not unforgettable, but unoffendable. Unforgettable is a song that I put in there. Unoffendable in every way. Come on, you got to be unoffendable. You got to make up in your mind that you're not going to be able to offend me. And when I do that, then I'll be able to be mature. All right, so this is the one we're going to park. We're going to park right here tonight. Let me park right here tonight because we're talking about obstacles. Maybe I didn't get you with apologize. I apologize. Maybe I didn't get you with apologize. Maybe I didn't get you with the fact that maybe you've been dealing with some other issues. But this one right here, all of us going to be able to fit in this bag right here. All of us going to be able to grab this. An obstacle that may be preventing full recovery and completion, maybe is an unwillingness to forgive. Maybe it's an unwillingness. Maybe it's an unwillingness to forgive. Maybe you didn't have a problem. You got a problem with apologizing. You're not a victim. You don't feel like you're a victim. But all of us have to learn how to forgive. And see, we clock out, especially men. We kind of clock out when we talk about forgiveness because we kind of associate forgiveness with just letting people just do what they want to do. Forgiveness, or we just pacifying sin or just condoning action. Those are two different things. Forgiveness, I gave you the definition, is just simply to cease to feel resentment against an offender. And so this is what I must do. When I say I'm going to choose not to be offended, I choose to cease to feel resentment in my heart. There's a resistance that's trying to stop me from being able to become who God wants me to be. But I got to refuse to say, I'm not going to have this resentment in my heart. If you come on, a lot of times we'll say, well, that didn't bother me. That person didn't bother me. I'm over that. But here, if you're always talking about this situation, I'm going to tell you like that young lady told Peter at the fire barrel when they was warming themselves. She said, sir, your speech betrays you. Come on, you're saying that you're over something. You're saying that something didn't bother you. But every time you get an opportunity, you begin to talk about it, you still have some resentment. Nobody gonna be honest with me. If I think too long and too hard about some situation, I may start getting a little hot. I get a little burning in my chest, and I'm saying, well, God, I thought I was a little more delivered than that. God, I thought I was a little more further down the road. That y'all gonna look at the preacher like that. Y'all gonna leave me by myself. Like there's not some situations that you have in your life that if somebody bring his name up, if somebody bring up her name, you may play it cool, but if somebody really watching, you're gonna roll your eyes real quick. You're gonna suck your teeth. Oh, I'm sorry, I had some steak earlier. Now there was no steak. You sucking your teeth because we talked about boo-boo. But can I tell you got to be able to make up in your mind, I refuse to feel this resentment. But look what condone is. Condone is much different from forgiving. Condoning is to treat as trivial. Nobody's saying what happened to you is trivial. Nobody's saying what happened to you is harmless. No one is saying what happened to you has no importance. So here, this is what we must do. We cannot say, oh, I'm not going to forgive. There are some people, nobody here, no, but this is super saved people came here tonight on Thursday night. Y'all love the Lord with all your heart, mind, soul, strength. It's a hurricane out there. And y'all made y'all way to the house of the Lord. They've been calling me all day. We still having church today? Yeah, I got to get y'all out of here before the hurricane gets y'all. Because I know I feel the building ricketing even now. I know I just know it's flash flooding and everything on Dunn Avenue. They don't like that, but that's okay. Let me tell you, can I tell you, let me get y'all out of here. That's funny to me. I think it's funny. If nobody else thinks it's funny, I think that's funny right there. It's a hurricane. Can I tell you, it's one gonna come though, and it's gonna hit us for real, but it ain't gonna do no damage because the Lord got us. So anyway, let me stop playing. So anyway, my point is, well, I ain't got no help. Can I tell you that my point is that it's not so much to the point to where we're just letting people off the hook and not allowing them to do this and do that, but I'm releasing them. It's gonna make sense. Isn't that what Jesus said when they caught that woman in adultery and they threw her at his feet? Look what his response was. He didn't condone her sin, but he said in John 8:11, he asked her, he said, where are your accusers? She said, no one, Lord. And Jesus said, he said, look what his response was. Neither do I condemn you. Look what he tells her. He said, go. He said, go. He said, go from now and sin no more. And that's what forgiveness is. Forgiveness is the way you receive that forgiveness and you make up your mind that you're not going to do it anymore. You're going to make up your mind that you're going to remedy the situation. So let's talk about what forgiveness is not. And as I said earlier today, forgiveness is just one of those kind of topics you got to talk about every now and then because of the fact that we always get in the posture to where somebody does something. And if you don't keep a heart of forgiveness, my friend, you'll find yourself right caught in the same trap that Absalom was in. First and foremost, forgiveness is not. Somebody say it is not. It is not circumventing God's justice. Again, forgiveness and condoning is two different things. It's not circumventing God's justice. It is not saying that justice will not be served. Forgiveness has to do with a matter of my heart. The second thing is forgiveness is not waiting for time to heal all wounds. We've talked about that several times. It's not saying that, because I'm so far removed that I'm going to forgive this individual. That's not how it works. Because if you don't do your due diligence, the participating in the healing process, you're still going to be just as broken as you was at the day it happened. Forgiveness is not letting the guilty off the hook. I'm not letting the guilty off the hook. And someone asked a great question today asking about, well, what exactly does that mean? As I often say, it's not about letting them off the hook, but it's removing them off of your hook and putting them on God's hook. This is what forgiveness is. Forgiveness is saying, I don't have to get you back. I don't have to retaliate. I don't have to hold this in my heart, but I'm going to allow God to deal with it. Come on. We talk about it all the time, but we got to be big boys and big girls in the things of God and know that I got to take my gloves off. I got to get out of the ring and I got to say, no, I'm not going to try to inflict pain on you because you brought pain to me. I'm going to put you on God. So Paul said like this in Romans 12:16. It's not on the screen. Just write it down if you want. 16 through 19. He says, live in harmony with one another. Do not be haughty, but associate with the lowly. Look what he says. Never be wise in your own sight. Verse 17, he says, repay no one for evil for evil, but give thought to do what is honorable in the sight of all. Here it is in verse 18. If possible, so far as it depends on you, live peaceably with all. Verse 19 says, beloved, never avenge yourselves, but leave it to the wrath of God, for it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, says the Lord. And here, let me slow down a little bit. Let me get a little pastoral here, because when Paul is saying that as much as in me live peaceably with all men, that is, we're going to pick that up in a moment, because in fact, it's the very next one. Look, see, forgiveness is not the same as reconciliation. So I have to live peaceably with you as far as you allow me to live peaceably with you. I have to see, the point is, this is where a lot of people don't forgive, don't let things go, because they say, well, they don't want to. I tried to apologize. They didn't want to hear. They hung up on me. They wouldn't answer the phone. I went by there, and every time we bring it up, an argument happens. Forgiveness is not reconciliation. Reconciliation takes two to tango. But if I want to make up in my mind that I'm going to get you out of my heart, I don't care what you say. I don't care how you respond. It's not the same as reconciliation, but I'm saying that no, whether you believe that I'm sincere or not, whether you believe that I have the right intentions or not, the right motives or not, that has nothing to do with it. Reconciliation means that you want to get it right and I want to get it right. Forgiveness says I need to get it right, whether you desire to or not. So as much as in me, Paul says, I'm going to live peaceably with all men, that don't mean that y'all ain't got to the point where we're just going to be fighting like cats and dogs. As much as in me, I did everything I could do. No, that's not what that means. That means that I'm going to do my part and God's going to take care of it from there. I can't make a person do something. I'm not going to be held accountable to how you respond to my apology. I'm not going to be held accountable. Let me keep on going here. I told you I'm going to knock the rest of the wind out you. Look what it says. Forgiveness is not excusing unjust behavior. We've touched that. Not about excusing unjust behavior. If they've done you wrong, if they did something to you, it's not excusing the unjust behavior. Forgiveness is not explaining the hurt away. No, I'm still hurt. No, you still offended me. I'm not explaining it away. Forgiveness is not based on, here it is, it's not based on what's fair. It's not about what's fair. Come on, people of God, I don't know how we get in line. This is something like the world will say. It's not fair. It's not right. It's not. If I got everything you deserve it, if I got everything I deserve, I'd be in hell right now if I got everything we deserve. If you just want to be honest, come on, we got everything we deserve. There's a lot of stuff that we deserve. It's not about being fair. Our entire relationship with God isn't fair. The one man that did everything right got punished like he did everything wrong, and you and I, who's done everything wrong, get to live like we did everything right. That's not fair. So forgiveness don't have anything to do with fairness and no, that's not. I shouldn't. They over there sleep and they over there doing it. It's not about being fair. It's about being righteous. We keep on going. Forgiveness is not stuffing your anger. Forgiveness, here it is. Forgiveness is not a natural response. My flesh don't want to forgive you. When you cut me off in traffic, my flesh want to chase you down and look at you. And I'm telling me the whole time I'm getting, don't look over there, don't look over there, don't look over there, don't look. Your flesh want to go over there and kind of some birds over there. You want to shoot some birds. You want to take some birds. Want to take your right next to your ring finger and give a salute to that driver. Y'all so saved. Y'all ain't never give him a one finger salute and tell him you want to what you doing? I'm just congratulating them on their awesome driving skills. I'm gonna give them a one finger salute. And tell you, great driver. That's a natural response. And forgiveness is a supernatural response. Forgiveness is saying it's not about what I want to do and how I want to respond. Forgiveness has everything to do about my relationship with God. It's going to get better here in a moment. Forgiveness is not about denying the hurt. It's not about being the doormat. And here it is. Forgiveness is not conditional. Again, has nothing to do with the condition. Has nothing to do with whether you receive it or not. Has nothing to do whether you believe me or not. Has nothing to do if the person is alive or not. I must learn to forgive. It's not based on conditions. It's not something that I naturally want to do. It's a matter of the heart. It's an act of the will. It's something that just like you get up in the morning, you put your clothes on, you make your mind up to do what you need to do. That's the same way we have to do forgiveness. We don't feel like it. We don't want to, but we got to do what we need to do if we're children of God. Forgiveness is not forgetting. People say forgiveness, I'm going to forgive and I'm going to forget. That sounds good. Forgiveness is not forgetting. And we kind of like that in reverse, because as long as I can remember the pain, I don't have to release the pain. As long as I'm remembering what you did to me, then that means I don't never have to let it go. And whenever I get to the point the way I don't think about it no more, it don't bother me no more, then I'll forgive you. It has nothing to do with forgetting and forgetting how the pain felt. It has everything to do about remembering God's deliverance in our lives. That's what forgiveness is. Forgiveness is not a feeling. But no, it's something that we have to do. Let me keep on going. Let me keep on working. I'm working. Can I go further, y'all? Can I go further? I don't know. Last through the arms want me to go further. I don't know online. Can I try to bring some completion? I'm trying to bring some completion and some recovery in our lives. But this is a huge obstacle that we have to overcome. Forgiveness is an action. I've already alluded to that. It's an action, not a feeling. You cannot feel forgiveness until you do what? Until you do it. You don't feel like forgiving. Come on. Me and my wife, we have a thing when we get on each other's nerves. We be like, this is like, so say for instance, she got on my nerves, and I go to her. I know y'all don't think Liz C. Oh no, not Liz C. Oh no. We know we married, y'all. We married. So let's just say for instance, she done bother me, and we had a little heated discussion, heated fellowship. This is what I do. I forgive you. I just walk in the room. I forgive you. I love you too. I'll say something like, I love you too. That's breaking the ice. That's just saying, I know you mad, I'm mad. Well, come on, we ain't finna get no divorce over this. Come on here. I forgive you. And it's like, well, I ain't apologize, or she'll do it to me. I ain't say anything. You can forgive me all you want. So in other words, it is not a feeling. It's not you don't want to apologize. You don't want to say, I accept your apology. You want to know, no, you did it. No, you want to King Kong. You want to tear the house up. You want everybody to know that you upset. And you don't really know how angry I am unless I can put a couple cuss words in there, because I just got to let you know how I feel. Y'all didn't want to help me in here, but can I tell you, forgiveness is not about an action, forgiveness is an action rather, not about a feeling. And so we must say it's an act of the will. It's something I need to do. Here, let's keep pressing in. So forgiveness is giving up the hope of a different or better yesterday. This is forgiveness. Forgiveness is giving up the hope of a better or a different yesterday. What do I mean by that? It is simply this, that where you anticipated things were going to work out this way, and it didn't work according to plan. You thought this person was going to respond this way. You thought they were always going to be faithful. You thought they were always going to be loving. You thought they was always going to cherish the relationship the same way that you cherish it. But here, a lot of us are held hostage to what we thought it was going to be. And we can't move past what we thought it was going to be, but based on how it actually played out. So forgiveness is saying, I'm going to give up the hope of a different and a better yesterday. It was what it was. Whatever happened, it happened. And I got to let that thing go, so to the point that where it's not holding me hostage. I'm dangling over my head saying, well, I thought I was going to be able to do this. I thought I was going to be able to build this house. I thought I was going to be able to buy this car. I thought I was going to be able to move here. I thought I'd be married by now. I thought this. I thought. It did not happen. But here, a lot of people just kind of get stuck because of how we thought our yesterday was going to be. I know I'm helping somebody. Let me keep on going. Forgiveness is taking the limits off. Forgiveness is taking the limits off. That's what true biblical forgiveness is taking the limits off. I don't know. Anybody on their second chance with the Lord? Anybody on second chance? No, we on our another chance. Is what we on. Not the second. We messed second chance up a long time ago. But I'm on my another chance. So we love the fact that we got a clean slate with the Lord, brand new mercy every day. But then when it comes to dealing with folk, you got one more time. They got one more time. They got one more time to say that. They got one more time to look at me like that. She better not even look like she finna say something to me today. And I'm telling he better not even have a shirt on. I don't even like. If he got a shirt on, I don't like. Come on, I'm gonna slap that. That's what you say in school. We say, he better look like he better even look like he finna step on my. He better look like he finna because they say y'all ain't never used to talk like that. Maybe some of us still. But anyway, forgiveness is taking the limits off. Look what Peter said in Matthew 18:21. Peter says, then Peter came up. He said, then Peter came up and said to him, Lord, what's my limits? How often should my brother sin against me and I forgive him? What's the limit around here? I'm getting tired of John. I'm so sick of Thaddeus. I don't even know Thaddeus. I'm so tired of Thomas doubting everything. So tired of what is the limit around here? Till 7 times. And Peter thought he was saying something because the Jewish rabbis said we ought to forgive people 3 times. So Peter trying to be super saved, super holy, and trying to say, oh, well, I'm gonna do it 7 times. Number of completion. That's God's perfect number. So he's trying to be deep. But no, the only way, come on, let me help you, church. Let me help you, people of God. True forgiveness must be viewed through the lens of the Father. Yes. The only way forgiveness can be impactful, the only way true forgiveness can be truthful in my life and in your life, I cannot view it from the lens of my limits. I can only view it through the lens of the Father. I cannot view it through my own limits. I cannot view it through my limitations. Cannot view it through based off of what you did and based on your response, but I must view it through the lens of the Father. Matthew 18:22. Look what Jesus responds. He says, I do not say to you 7 times, but 77 times. In other words, 7 times 70, 490 times a day. And some of us don't get your clicker out, don't get your little time out, don't get your little 109, 120. No, that's not how that works. No, in other words, Jesus saying there is no limit to how oftentimes you forgive somebody. I said in the Christian church, and man, the people of God, just all right. That you speak for yourself. That would you try Jesus, don't try me. Come on, I know that's your little mantra. I know that's your ringtone and all that. That song gonna have you in hell. Talking about some try Jesus, don't try you. Because I throw hands. He throw people in hell too. Talking about try. You won't throw some hands. You throw some hands. But can I tell you, you better forgive somebody. Better forgive somebody before you lift up your eyes. Look at it. Matthew 18:23 says, therefore, the kingdom of heaven, look what Jesus said about the kingdom of heaven. He says, the kingdom of heaven is like this. It may be compared to a king who wished to settle his accounts with his servants. Verse 24, when he began the accounting, one was brought to him who owed him 10,000 talents, probably about $10 million. Verse 25 says, and he could not pay it. His master ordered him to be sold, and his wife and his children, all that he had, and the payment must be made. He didn't have it. So he's going to be sold into slavery. Verse 26 says, so the servant fell to his knees, imploring, begging, have patience with me. I'll pay you everything. Verse 27, he says, out of pity for him, the master of the servant released him and forgave him of his debt. Look at how God forgives us. And this is a picture of salvation. Well, I can't repay God for all the things I've done. I can't repay him for all the wrong and all of the things that I've stacked up on my ledger. I can't repay him. But yet, when I earnestly repent, God he'll clear my slate. He'll clear my slate. Yes, he was, because that's what forgiveness is. And so it is with the Father. So it should be. So it is. Look at it. So it is vertically. So it should be horizontally. Forgiveness means, look at it, dismissing a debt. Have you ever thought of it this way? I know you have. Forgiveness means dismissing debt. So when you offend me, you incur a debt. When you offend me, there's a debt that I have in my heart that I got from you. And what the debt is saying, you need to right this wrong. The debt is saying that you need to apologize about what you did. But what forgiveness is, I'm dismissing the debt. Let me try it again. Forgiveness is whenever it is you hurt me, whenever someone wrongs me, there's a debt that I'm holding in my heart saying they need to right this. They need to get together. They need to fix what they messed up. But forgiveness says I'm going to dismiss the debt. Forgiveness says I'm going to let it go. Look at this. Forgiveness is dismissing your demand that others owe you something. That's big boy. That's big girl stuff there. That when I dismiss the fact that you owe me something. And there are some people right now that are haunted by their past because their mother never said this. Their father never said this. Your spouse never apologized for breaking your heart, stealing your money, doing all this stuff. And they are haunted. But look how serious this is. Because this is why forgiveness is so powerful. Because what if they never apologize? What if they never come and meet your debt? What if they never come and give you what you feel like you owe? What if they never circle the wagon? Am I going to be stuck there, held hostage there just because of what it is that they've done? And sometimes, yes, we do. Heard one writer say that unforgiveness is like me drinking the poison and waiting on you to die. That's what unforgiveness is. I'm drinking the poison and I'm going to watch you and wait on you to die. So forgiveness is dismissing the demand that others owe you something, especially when they, let's qualify it, let's have a little fun, fail to meet your expectations. You didn't meet my expectations. You didn't do what I wanted you to do. You didn't come up to you didn't come up to the standard. You didn't come through the way you said you were going to do. And so I got to be able to say, you don't owe me something even when you don't meet my expectations. Even when I went down there and signed that car for you and co-signed that car, and I knew I shouldn't have, and you never paid in one payment. I got to forgive you. Well, that lady Dollar General again. This lady back over there. Did y'all hear it? Did y'all hear that time? Y'all heard that time? She said, this lane open over here. This lane open right over here. They said, man, you got to forgive them. If they steal your spouse, steal your boo, you got to forgive them. I mean, I don't know, we can stack the deck up and you can name anything you want to name. We have to forgive them. And it's not the point to where we just, again, I just told you what forgiveness was not. It's not excusing it, but it's about getting it out your heart. So even when you don't meet my expectation, or even you don't owe me anything, even when you fail to keep a promise, you promised me you're going to do that, but you promised. There are some marriages right now that have deteriorated because maybe the spouse have done something that caused the trust to be gone, but the offended spouse is still in the marriage. And they keep reminding the other spouse, the offender, about what they've done. But you said you would never do that. But you told me I was the only woman you love. You told me that I was the only man for you. But yet, if you're going to stay there, boo-boo, you got to start working towards forgiveness. If you're going to stay in the relationship, I'm not telling you not to hurt. I'm not telling you not to be upset. I'm not telling you that he don't need no passcodes on his phone. I'm not telling you that she shouldn't have no male friends. I'm not telling you there should be some parameters set. But you just can't keep on hiding behind the fact that they broke a promise and you still in the relationship. Woo. Pastor Cobie. Yes, sir, boy. They don't like this right here. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Elvis has left the building. Look. Forgiveness. Even when they fail to treat me right, I got to let them go. I got to let it go. Got to let it go. I love this quote. I've given it to you. I've given it to you every year. Truth and love. I'm giving it to you. I'm keep on giving it to you. As long as God keep me with the strength I got, I'm keep on giving it to you. Look at this. Forgiveness is relinquishing my rights to hurt you back. Forgiveness is me relinquishing my rights to hurt you back. There are people dead right now because they just had to get somebody back. I got a good friend I went to school with. Somebody did something, some of his property. He just had, the person had went on about their business. He just had to go confront them. And he in the Edgewood Cemetery right now. Just because he just had to get somebody back. Just had to say something. There are some people, don't you look at my friend like that in that tone of voice, because there's some people right now, it's somebody you think about right now, that you've been bothering them about $20. You've been bothering about $20. He ain't never paid me my money back. And you find somebody finally drill down and say, well, how much you owe you? About $1,000? No, it was like $30, but still, it's my money. It's my money. It's my money. It's my money. Better let that mess go. Let me go. Forgiveness. I did this at the first service too. I don't even remember what it's supposed to say. Forgiveness is to. The media people are on point. Y'all are on point. Forgiveness is to release my resentment towards the offender. Remember that? I release it. I'm not going to hold this resentment in my heart, but I'm releasing this resentment. I'm taking away. Whether you say I'm sorry or not, whether you do better or not, whether you give it back to me or not. This is what true forgiveness is. Let me wrap this up. Matthew 18, back to my story. Matthew 18, 28. But that same attendant, look at how we do. The same attendant who owed $10 million, as he went out, found one of his fellow attendants who owed him, look at this, 100 denarii, which is about, what does it say? $20. And he caught him by his throat. He had a Cisco. He grabbed this brother by the back of his neck. He grabbed his brother. He caught him. He throat caught this brother. And he said, pay me what you owe me. Verse 29 says, so his fellow servant fell down and pleaded with him and said, have patience with me. I pray you. Please have patience with me. I'll pay you, bro. Verse 30, he said, he refused, and he went and put him in prison until he should pay the debt. Look at us. Look at us. God has forgiven us from $10 million worth of debt. And somebody owes us $20. And we won't forgive. He who cannot forgive others destroys the bridge over which he himself must pass. One day I'm going to need somebody to forgive me. One day you're going to offend somebody and you didn't mean to, and you really didn't mean to do it. And you're going to need them to understand. One day you really didn't see them. You really didn't mean to say what you said. You had a lot of stuff on your mind and you lashed out and you did this and you did that. Maybe you got weak one day and you gave in to something you shouldn't have given into, and you're really sincerely sorry about what has taken place. And you're going to need somebody to forgive you. But as long as you dangling over everybody else, Jesus said, unto the merciful shall they obtain. They're going to obtain mercy. Let me wrap it up. Verse 31 says, when the fellow servants saw that what had taken place, they were greatly distressed, and they went and reported to their masters. Always a snitch. And says they went and reported to the master and everything that's taken place. Verse 32 said, then the master summoned him and said to him, you wicked servant, I forgave you all that debt because you pleaded with me. Verse 33 says, and should not you have had mercy on your fellow servant as I have had mercy on you? Verse 34 says, and the anger of his master delivered him to the jailers, put him in prison until he should pay his debt. Verse 35, look how Jesus puts the cap on it. He says, so also my heavenly Father will do to every one of you if you do not forgive your brother from your mouth. I'll just make sure y'all paying attention. You forgive from my heart. I have to forgive. I have to do likewise. Just as God has forgiven me. I have to be able to dismiss. I have to learn how to cancel. I have to learn how to be free. And this is how this works. When we're talking about grief, some of us are grieving old relationships. We're grieving what this person did, what that person did. We're grieving a person that's gone. But in order for you to restore, in order for you to bring a completion, I got to say, you know what? I'm going to forgive you. I'm going to let you go. Colossians 3:13 says, bearing with one another. If one has a complaint against another, forgive each other. What's our standard? As the Lord has forgiven you, so you must also forgive. Just in case I thought that was a typo, he put it in Ephesians 4 as well. Verse 32, be kind one to another. Lord, it's a whole other message. Be kind to one another, tenderhearted. Look what he says, forgiving one another, as God in Christ forgave you. That's what my responsibility is. My responsibility is to forgive one another. My responsibility is let people go. My responsibility is to say, Jesus, I got to look through this as the lens of the Father. Jesus is my standard. The Father is my standard. I'm going to forgive you, not because I want to, not because it doesn't hurt, not because I want you to get away with it, but because I don't want to get in the way of God. I don't want to get in the way of God. Maybe, just maybe, God can't deal with the situation because you won't pull your hands off of it. You won't pull your mouth off of it. You keep on bringing it up. You keep rehashing it. And God is telling us that he wants to bring a completion. So the Grief Recovery Handbook helps us in this regard as it relates to how we can do this. It gives us some things. So we can deal with this in depth. We can deal with this in this and in that. All these different pockets, all these different buckets. But let me help you. Let me bring this in. I acknowledge the things that you did or did not do that hurt me. Man, how much freer you will be if you can really put this in your spirit and release this person. Release those group of people, those individuals. I acknowledge the things that you did to me and the things that you hurt me. I am not going to let them hurt me anymore. What if you made up in your mind today you're not going to let it hurt you anymore? I acknowledge the things that you did or did not, or the things that you did or did not do that hurt me. And I'm not going to let my memory of those incidents hurt me anymore. What would you do? What would you do? How much freer would you be if you say, I acknowledge those things? Maybe you did it, or maybe it's something that you failed to do. But I'm not going to allow those things to hurt me and hold me hostage anymore. On behalf of everyone here at Truth and Love Ministries, we want to thank you for being a part of our online worship experience. Thank you for your participation through your likes, your shares, and your comments. But we also want you to participate when it comes down to helping us continue to push this gospel message forward. You can do so by downloading our app, and you can give there in a safe and secure way. You can go to our website at truthandlove.tv and you can give, or you can text the word TILJAX to the number 77977. Thank you so much for your generosity. Thanks for watching. Be blessed. See you next time.